Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah, so how many of you are still facing problem regarding the drafting? Is anyone out there who is facing problem regarding drafting the plan, regarding the room positioning or orientation, or maybe in AutoCAD they are facing problem while drafting? Because today will be the last session basically. Almost I have told the things where that you need to know like to represent your drawing. So basically, more or less, every one of you are already aware like how to, represent your drawings. And some of the things I will quickly mention today. Then I'll go back to your 2D plan representation thing. We'll talk about that today. And I'll also talk about the scale because I forgot to mention that in the previous class. That's why. So basically, what a scale is. Your scale represent the, what can I say, the ratio of the drawing to the actual existing structure or the structure that is going to be built, right? So for example, this is a floor plan, typical floor plan of a commercial place. So if I'm going to print this particular drawing on a paper, then if I measure the sides with a scale, okay, so if this side, when it will be printed on a paper, I don't know whether it will be printed on which kind of sheet, but whenever it will be printed on a particular paper, then I'll be measuring the drawing, the actual drawing that is printed on a paper. I'm going to measure that with a physical scale. Okay, so if this particular side, let's say from this end to this end, okay, so this particular side, let's say it's this is the dimension that is being shown in AutoCAD, okay, but in actual, let's say in the drawing it is showing as 3 centimeter, let's suppose. So my drawing scale is mentioned as 1:100, okay. So that means if this particular drawing that will be printed on a paper, and with the physical scale I'm measuring it, and it is showing that the particular line is 3 centimeter, that means in actual field that same line will be of 3 centimeter into 100, that means 3 meter. Okay, so that is how your scale works. Or else what is the, what is the meaning of a scale? So are you now understanding the drawings that you guys were drafting in AutoCAD? You just mentioned some scale. So that scale is, meaningless unless it is justified scientifically. So your scale depends on how your drawing is gonna be printed in physical form. Because if the same drawing or the same floor plan that you have drafted, it is being printed on a this much size paper, very small, then maybe your scale will be 1:500. And if it is being printed on a this much big sheet size, maybe A3 size, then maybe your drawing is 1:200. Okay, that means the length that you are being able to see or measure on the paper, if you multiply it 200 times, then it will give you the actual dimension of the site or the actual dimension of that particular line in the site. Okay, the physical form of it. So that is the relevance of scale. Or else, what is the meaning of a scale? So that is how you need to mention your scale. So you can understand now clearly that the scale depends on how your drawing is going to be printed. If you are drawing it on a paper, that is completely fine. Because if you are drawing it on a paper, maybe you are taking 3 meter as 3 millimeter. Okay, 3 actual meter in field, you are taking it as 3 millimeter or 3 centimeter in your pen and paper, and you are drafting it. So you are mentioning it as 1:100. That is completely fine and scientifically correct, because you are representing a 3-meter line with a 3 centimeter line on your paper. So the scale is obviously 3 meter divided by 3 centimeter, that is 100, 1:100. That is fine and correct, completely correct. But whenever you are drafting, then it is going to be printed, right? So it may be printed on a A4 sheet, maybe it gets printed on a A1 sheet with different sizes. So when your drawing is being enlarged or smalled, okay, scaled, so at that time your scale will also change. So how you gonna judge that? Because in that case you don't have control on the printing thing, right? Because you cannot control, you don't know even that how it is gonna look on a paper. But you know, if you follow yesterday's session and yesterday's class that I've told you, you can easily understand how it is gonna look on a paper of A4 size or maybe A3 size or A5 size. It depends. Okay. So how you're going to achieve that, I already told you. Simply this side, let's say suppose this particular side is now 8996 mm. Okay. So that means this is 8 point, almost 9 meter. Okay, this is almost 9 meter. And I know that this particular thing is gonna be printed on a A0 sheet. Okay, so the standard dimension of A0 sheet is 8, I guess this is around 800 something by 1100 something. Let me just check once. A0 sheet dimensions. You should also know these particular dimensions actually. See, you can note these things because you need to remember these things. You can also note it down, or you can get it from the Google, the standard international paper sizes. Basically, A4 is the one we are already, we already know what a A4 size and how a A4 size paper look like. Then A3 is the double of a A4. Okay. Then A2 is the double of a A3. A1 is the double of a A2, and it is the same. And as well as A5 sheet size is half of a A4. If you fold a A4 sheet into half, that particular size is known as A5 size. And you can also see this dimensions. So generally our drawing sheets get printed. If it is a single floor plan, maybe you can print it on a A4 sheet because it is quite clearly visible, a single floor plan. And if you need to show many other things as well, so you need to get it printed on a A3 sheet, which whose dimension is 297 mm by 420 millimeters. A4 sheet size is 297 by 210. So you can understand this is the exactly half of an A3. So these are the standard sizes, and A0 sheet is the that complete biggest sheet size available in the market. Okay, so that is where you show your approval plans. Like in this case. So this particular plan is going to be printed on an A0 size sheet. So how can you understand that if I print this drawing on a A1 sheet or A4 sheet or an A3 sheet, how it's going to look? Right. So first you need to understand what is the scale of your drawing. So basically I have drafted this particular drawing on original scale. That means in AutoCAD, each line are as it is been shown. So this particular side, this side of this particular building or plan is showing as almost 9,000 millimeter. That means 9 meter. So I have plotted this particular plan in actual scale, and you should always plot the drawings or draft anything in actual scale. That means 1:1 scale. So I know that this is in actual dimensions, but obviously size of a plot is thousands or million times larger than a paper or sheet, A4 sheet or A0 sheet. So what I need to do, I'll first simply, I already told you yesterday, okay. So you need to first draft your sheet, like you need to first draw the sheet sizes, okay. So in this case, the A0 sheet size is 841 millimeter by 1189 millimeter, right? So 1189 millimeter by 841. So you can see this is an A0 sheet, how it actually looks like. So in order to accommodate all these drawings within that particular sheet, what we will do, we will not scale down the image because it will mess up. It will mess up the arrow sizes, it will mess up the text heights, everything. So in that case, we'll keep it as it is, but we'll scale up this particular sheet size. So how to do that? Let's say we are scaling it up to 100 times and see whether you need to see whether it can accommodate all your drawings or the thing you're trying to represent, right? So in that case, so it is not going to accommodate all the drawings, all the elements. So I need to scale it up more. Let's say I scale it up 2 times. So I think now it can easily accommodate all the drawings. So it depends on you whether you want to show it in a bigger sheet or a smaller sheet. So, and now you need to also understand one thing. If you, so this particular sheet is now scaled at 200 times of its original dimensions. So if I now put all these images in this, when it will be printed on a A0 sheet, the drawing will look smaller because the sheet size is fixed, right? So the printer will print only this much area, this particular rectangle. So the more you enlarge your sheet, the smaller the drawing will become. Because with respect to a bigger sheet, the drawing will look more smaller. So if I reduce the particular dimension of this box, let's say if I put elements in this particular drawing, somehow if I adjust all these things in here, so the drawing will be like all the elements will be printed in a bigger size. Are you getting? So according to that, your scale will also change. Okay. So let's say suppose I have scaled this sheet 200 times. So now if I put all these drawings elements here, for example, if I put this particular floor plan into this and print it, its scale will be 1:100 because this particular sheet has been scaled to 100 times. And the image that is going to be printed within this sheet, if it is in actual dimension, so if you can also measure it and cross check whatever I'm saying. If you are getting confused, just simply cross check it. Simply draft your plan, or you have already drafted it. So draw a rectangular box of A4 sheet size because you can easily print it in A4. So draw a box of 210 millimeter by 297 millimeter. So it will be a this kind of vertical box, rectangular box, and scale that particular box to 100 times. Okay, then fit your drawing within that particular sheet, and I'm sure that your drawing will fit within that particular sheet. Okay, now what you need to do, print it and check whether it is in 1:100 scale or not. Then how you are going to check? If I take this particular plan as example, if I print it on an A4 sheet like you will do with your plan, so what will you do? You will simply put it within that particular rectangular box which is being scaled at 100 times. Okay, then you'll print it, and after getting the printed image in your hand, just simply measure any of the sides. Let's say I'll measure this particular side with a simple small scale, physical scale, and I'm getting that it is 9 centimeter. Okay, if I'm getting this particular line, I'm talking about this particular line. Okay, I'm talking about this particular line. I'm getting it as 9 centimeter. So 9 centimeter, I'll multiply it 100 times. that becomes 9 meter, and exactly my drawing this side is 9 meter. So that means your scaling has been done properly. That's when you will understand that you have done something correct. And if it is not matching, then you have something problem, and like ask me or share the plan with me. I'll recheck it. Okay, so do it. Printing a plan will cost you 5 rupees, so there is no problem. Just at least print something, because this is because the what is the purpose of this particular internship? To make you able to deal with the real world, right? So you will not submit your drawings in DWG formats. You'll print it and submit to the client. So print it. This will be your first attempt, and see whether the plans are looking exactly how you wanted or not. So that's where you'll become professional, or you'll move one step forward to it at least. So you need to see those things. And if you are facing problem regarding scale, because scaling is very much important. Why it is important? See, you can show 1,000 types of dimensions and all those things. For example, in this particular plan, let's suppose this plan, I have only shown this dimension, the distance from here to here, and this distance, okay, the length and the width. But I haven't shown how much this particular line is, how much this particular window is. Obviously, I will provide a window and door schedule. That is different. But how much this particular bend is. So how the engineer or the contractor or the person who is going to build this house, he is going to understand that how much curve or how much angles you have provided, what is this particular length. How is he going to understand? He will simply measure it with a physical scale and multiply with the scale mentioned below the drawing. So he'll simply measure this line with a physical scale. Let's say if it comes as 2 centimeter in the printed drawing, he'll simply multiply with 100 and get okay. So this line is 2 meters. So I need to construct a wall of length 2 meter in that particular place. So that is how he is gonna transform your drawing to a physical thing or physical building. So your scale is very much important in terms of execution. And if your design is not going to be executed, then what is the value of your design? Right? You need to do this and cross-check it very properly. And I understand that many of you are still facing, confused at this time and unable to understand it. Just simply draw a rectangular box of A4 size, scale it to 100 times, put your drawing or the drafted plan within that particular box, then print it and measure whether it is coming exactly same or not. If not, then ask me or share the plan with me. I'll tell you what are the problems. Okay, and how to print it. Let's suppose I want to print this particular drawing within an A1 sheet. Okay, I have set all the things. Then I'll hit Control P, that is the command for printing. And I've already shown you. First, you need to set Microsoft Print to PDF, that is for printing this in a, save this as a PDF format. Then you'll get this particular format A5, A4, A3, and you don't have the A0 or A1 size. In that case, you need to select different formats like DWG2 PDF, PC3 formats, and here you will get all the standard like ISO, Indian standard sizes of A1, A0, all these dimensions. You see here the dimensions are also mentioned like 841 millimeter by 1189 millimeter. So you can get this. Then you click on window. So with the window option, you will get to snap the portion you want to print. And the reason behind providing this particular rectangular box, I'll use it as reference. So I can click in this way and click OK. Okay, and before that, you can also check this option like portrait or landscape, in which part, because if your plan is something vertical, you should print it in portrait. So it will be printed in this vertical direction. And also remember to check it as fit to paper. Okay, then these are not required. You can actually basically set your templates, okay, like the standard format instead of doing these things every time, you can set this as a preset and check it from this list. Okay, each time. So basically that's how you're gonna set up the print and hit OK to save it as a PDF. So that is how you can save it as a PDF and go to print. And in case of while you are printing it on an A0 sheet, basically the Xerox people, the Xerox centers, they're not able to print that. So in that case, you have to go to a offset printer office or something like that store. So in that case, you need to provide them the DWG file. So just simply block this complete drawing with this command B enter and save it as a different name and provide this drawing to them. So they can scale it as per requirement and they can print it on it. So my main point of saying all these things is that if you are gonna print a drawing within a A4 sheet, you need to have a difference. Your scale will be different, your settings will be different. If you are gonna print it on an A3 sheet, your scales will be different, your text heights, everything will be different. So first understand where your drawing is gonna be printed. It is not like you draw something and save it as PDF and share with your client. No. Ask him, or even you do the printing yourself and submit it to him. It is very important in which paper he is going to print it. And basically what happens in case of A4 and A3, there is not that much problem because it is generally the A3 is 2 times of A4. So there is not that much huge difference between that and the text size, even if it is doubled, but it doesn't cause that much problem. But obviously your scale need to be changed, because if your drawing is printed 2 times larger, so obviously your scale will be half, right? If your drawing is 1:100 in a A3 sheet, A4 sheet, and you are doubling the size of your drawing and printing it on an A3 sheet, so obviously your scale will be 1:50 at that time, because the same line which is represented as 3 centimeter on an A4 sheet is gonna be represented as 6 centimeter in an A3 sheet, because it is doubled. But in actual field it is 3 meters. So obviously at that time it is not 100 times, it is 50 times. So your scale will be 1:50, not 1:100. So if you're still facing the problem, just simply go and do it, like print it and see what are the problems and what are the difference you are getting. Then we'll talk about it. And apart from that, basically I have already told you how to set your dimensions and all those things. To provide sections, you know how to represent those things. Like you need to first show a line from which line you are going to cut it, and these are the arrows of direction of your eye. This arrow is upwards, that means I'm looking from, that means I'm standing, let's say I'm standing at B and looking upward. So what are the things I'm gonna see? I can see the cut portion of this wall. I'm gonna see this particular wall. So in that case here I'll see the brickworks because it is cut in between the walls. I'm gonna see the complete fully finished wall here. Maybe I get to see this column if it is in different color. Then I'll see this passage. So in this passage, this is completely open. So I'll see this particular end. So then again, I'm gonna see this particular wall. Then again, it is cut here. So I'm gonna see this particular cut portion of wall. So I'm gonna see the bricks. So that is how your section works. You need to visualize to draw a section. And often it is required for the architects as well to provide elevation and section drawings. So you need to also visualize those and prepare the elevation and section drawings. And it is actually important, not often, always actually, because sometimes maybe the client is not willing to have a 3D drawing or something, some kind of that. So maybe they need some kind of, because in 3D drawings you cannot show the dimensions. Okay, so maybe to visualize the thing and see the dimensions, they need some engineering drawings which the architect has to prepare. So in that case, you need to prepare these elevations, different elevations from the front, from the rear, from the left side, from the right side of the building. You need to prepare elevation to show different facilities, how you have imagined your facade, all the designs, the jalis, pergolas, and all those elements, So you need to visualize that, and you have to draw accordingly. So your drawing your elevation and sections is also important. Section will not come inside the exterior designing part, because it is not a part of that, but your elevations are important to show how you are designing the building. Okay. And I have also talked about how to provide the arrows and all those things. Then these are the signs, how you show the levels, like GL is ground level. Then this is PL is plinth level, your plinth height, you can mention that also as well. And these are the some basic things. Then you have the title blocks. You can provide, if you are providing some kind of engineering drawing, so you need to provide this kind of thing, like revision number, description, details, and the date. Okay, maybe you made the contract as I'll go for 3 maximum number of revisions. So in that case, you can write it here and take the signatures. In your client signature, project title and details, architect, that means your signature. The service consultant, the person who is taking care about the construction part, so his signature, or maybe the structural engineer signature as well. Then the date, whether it is checked, job number, scale. Okay, then status. And if your drawing is including multiple scales, like in my case, this plan is in 1:100 scale, this plan is this particular beam section is in 1:40 scale, so you can mention that varied scale here, because your scale is varied. Hello?
Sir, how you got multiple scales to put it on the same paper?
Yeah, you can put. That is why I have mentioned. This is, see, this particular floor plan is 1:100 scale, and this particular beam detail is 1:40 scale. So what does that mean? Whenever a person is gonna build this particular house, if you need to measure the walls, he'll simply measure it with a physical small scale, the 15 centimeters or the 30 centimeter scale, and he will multiply it with 100 times to get the actual field dimension. And at the same time, if he's working on the beams, so in that case, he will measure the drawing here same, but he will multiply it with 40 times. That is why we have mentioned the scale.
So should we put each drawing on the A4 sheet and then should keep them on one paper, sir?
Sorry?
Should we keep each drawing on an A4 sheet and then we should keep them on an A0 sheet?
No. In your case, if you are, it depends, na. If you are only representing, in your case, you are only representing the, the floor plan. So simply put it on a A4 sheet.
For multiple drawings, how to do that?
Yeah, I'm talking. In all my conversation, I have talked about this only. See, this is a engineering complete drawing of a structure. All the structural details of a complete house or a complete building. So this is like a complete set of building. You need this drawing to completely finish your work. Also, some things are also not mentioned here, like the septic tank positions and soak pits and all those things, but ignore that. But this is required to construct your complete house, because all the necessary details, structural details and architectural things are already mentioned here. Because in site, why people do this, inside they they don't carry a lot of drawings. In bigger construction site, obviously they carry a lot of things together, like a bunch of drawings. But in small residential house or this kind of a single building, they don't carry a lot of drawings. They carry everything within a single sheet. That's why these scales are different here. But in case of your concern, like you are doing for a particular residential house only, so you can easily print it on a A4 sheet. Or if you want, you can also do that. You print your 3 drawings, like the ground floor plan, first floor plan, and the second floor plan. On a A3 sheet, you take a A3 sheet and put all the three drawings side by side, and you can print that as well. The only thing you need to like keep in your mind that how I can represent my drawing clearly to a person who is going to read it. The font size shouldn't be too small to read, and at the same time it shouldn't be too large that someone has to look like this. That is the thing.
Sir, in this case, you told that we should draw an A0 sheet and then we should put all drawings on it. That so all scales should be same, no, sir?
No.
Not understand.
I haven't drawn anything within a sheet. I have drawn this in actual. Okay. Let's suppose this drawing is in actual scale. Then I have scaled this particular rectangular box, the sheet. Then I like copy pasted in on that. Are you getting?
Yeah, if we do that, so all scales must be same, no, sir?
Why all scale need to be same?
Because all we will draw an original dimension and then we'll put it on A0 size.
Okay. You are talking about that. Yeah. I can understand your question. No, this is not in actual dimension. Let me show you. Let me show you the proof. See, this particular side, it is shown as 300 millimeter. Just see it. How much it is showing?
1500.
1500 millimeter. That means this particular element has been scaled up to 5 times.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, obviously, because this is a beam. If you are showing a plan in this much size, you can imagine how a beam will look, a very tiny small piece. So it will not be visible. So I have to scale it up to 5 times. That is why this particular thing has been reduced to 40.
Okay.
Let's say take this example as well. For 20, this is 1:20. I have scaled it up. Okay. I understand your question completely. I had to scale it up because you can easily see that this is a plan. You can see this is a column. You know what a column is? This is a column, and you can see, and you already know that this is in actual dimensions. Okay, you can I can show you and measure it also. This is 350 by 250 column, right?
Yes.
And I have shown the column details here. This is the 350 by 250 column. So obviously you can understand it has been scaled up to show it properly so that one can easily visualize what are the reinforcement and all the details within it.
Yes.
So obviously I have scaled it up 5 times. That's why the scale has been reduced 1:20. That means 100 divided by 20. That is a good question actually. I completely understand your question. I think you now understood.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So it will only happen when you are showing different types of element. For example, in case of staircase, I am having 1:25. Obviously, because if I show everything at 1:100, that means I'm showing it at an actual dimension. Obviously, this element will be so tiny and so small, it will not be visible. So in order to make it visible, I had to enlarge it, and that's why the scale has been reduced. And in your case, don't worry because you are only dealing with a floor plan. But if you are dealing with different elements, for example, in the same sheet, you are showing the complete floor plan, and at the same time you are showing a interior detail maybe of a particular bedroom. You are showing the interior details. Okay, like this will be this much. This is the dimension of the furniture and all those things. If you want to show it in a 2D drawing, so in that case, obviously you have to scale up your, because here you can see this particular shop 7. This is very small, and I want to show the interior detailings of this particular shop in a bigger scale to show all the details, how the counter will be there, how will be the furniture's placed, how the sofa will be positioned, all the dimensions. Okay, so in that case I have to copy it and scale it up, enlarge it, and its scale will also reduce. Like if it is 1:100 scale in actual scale, maybe if I scale it up to 5 times, my scale will be becoming 1:20. So who was it who asked this question? Actually, good question. I should have mentioned it. Thank you for asking. And that is why I always say that you should ask questions. Okay, so I think this particular scale thing is a bit clear to you. And so basically we are dealing with only floor plans, so don't worry about that much. Okay, and these are the things basically you need to present in your drawing, and always remember to put this kind of title blocks. And yes, one more thing, that this drawing is not finished yet, so one more thing I'll add here is the door and window schedule. So you can see I have used three different kinds of I think two different kinds of door and windows. One is window 1, then there is window 2 and window 3. So basically you need to make a table and show that window 1 length and width, that in that way. Not length and width, length and height basically. So you need to provide a chart of that table. Okay, door and window schedule. You need to mention also that thing. That's very important. And if you are doing the structural details, like I have done here, I have shown this is the beam B1, B2, okay, and I have shown their details like this. But in case of door and window, you don't have to show the details like this, but you have to make a schedule, that means a table where you'll mention the heights. Okay, for doors, how many different types of doors you are using. Maybe for the bathroom you are using a 3 feet width door. Maybe for the main door you are using a 3.5 feet or 4 feet door for the main one. Maybe you are providing some kind of collapsible gate, so mention as CG, and in the door window schedule mention that CG this much height, this much that width. So those are the things you need to show and mention, and that is where your like the things will become more practical. And also at the same time I'll also like to show you this site plan particularly. So this is my particular portion where this particular structure is going to be built. Okay, so this is the building which is going to be built in this particular thing, and these are the existing structures of the same owner. And this is the plot, and if you get the plot from the municipality drawing or somewhere else, or even the client can provide you, you need to mention like this. So he will understand, okay, there is a road, then there is this plots, and every plot has a number, and this is the plot number 171 upon which the building is going to be built. You can highlight this with thicker lines, you can change the line width, or you can also show the you can simply just copy this plan and scale it down and place it here, just to show how you have accommodated the things. So the person will understand, okay, this is the site plan and here is the building that is going to be built. This is also important if you are providing him some kind of complete drawing set, because if the person is only interested in your 3D interior design or 3D exterior modeling, how the house will look like, the client is only concerned that he needs a rendered image how his building is going to look. He is not that much worried about these things, so you don't have to consider this. But if the client wants that I need my building elevation, building sections and all those things, so in that case you need to do this. Generally they don't ask for sectional drawings to architects. These are the part of an engineer, but still, because in today's job world, people are not that much adequated with these terms. What is the exact role of an architect, what is the exact role of an civil engineer? Okay, so oftentimes they actually mix both of them. What they need is their job to be done. They need that their job should be done within time and with the minimum cost. That is what they are concerned about. So they don't care about whether you're an architect or an engineer. Okay, but obviously if he's seeking for interior design, he'll go to an interior designer. And even most of the times people also confuse that interior designing and architect is both the same thing, but these are two complete different things. Interior designing is a separate course, architecture is a separate course, engineering is another course. So, but normal people, they don't understand this much. So you need to know some portions of everything in order to get the job, take the job, and get it done. And this is not something too much, hard or rocket science that you cannot do it. You can easily do it if you are able to draft and visualize. If it doesn't matter whether you are an interior designer or an architect or a civil engineer, you can easily do it. And also, one more important thing is that to construct a house, basically, a client goes to a contractor or the person who is going to build it. And at the same time, if he is concerned about his aesthetics, he will call an architect. Okay. So, but he or she, the client doesn't know that interior designing doesn't come within the course of architecture. Okay, maybe the architect is knowing those things. I mean, he has studied all those things on his own, but he is not aware of that, and he is not gonna hire or appoint 2-3 different persons to get the complete project done. Can you understand what I'm trying to say? What do you think? A client will go to an architect first, who will draw the plan, then he will take the plan and go to an structural engineer, he will detail, then he will take the plan from him and go to an interior designer, then he will go to a contractor. 4 different persons. This happens very rarely. I mean, the people who are very professional, or what can I say, in case of big projects, maybe they appoint different persons or different specialists for each and every task. But in case of normal dwellings, people generally hire one person and depends on him, because the client is not having that much technical qualification or the things to understand this. So you, in that particular scenario, in order to earn something or start your freelancing, you need to know some portion of everything, so that you can get the food on the plate. That is the thing. So that is why I'm telling you all these things. Obviously, you don't need to focus about the structural details. That is completely coming under the engineering part. But at least you should understand, like there may be a requirement of elevational drawings, sectional drawings, and all those things. Okay. So that is the thing to talk about this particular structure in AutoCAD. And if you are still having doubt and any kind of problem, just do let me know. I'll resolve it in the next class, no problem. And now I'm gonna share with you something. Okay, like you have already plotted, almost all of you, I consider, because those who haven't submitted me any kind of drawing, I don't know about them, because I'm asking each and every day. If you are still facing problem regarding drafting, just ask me, or just simply leave a message in the group. Okay. So people who have finished their, architectural drafting thing. So architectural representation is also important. Whatever the things I have told you or taught you this much, like this far, that is completely regarding the 2D drawing. Okay, like how your drawing can be more professional in terms of looks, or in terms of scientifically how it can be more professional, how you are going to show all these things and give a professional touch to your drawing. That is fine completely. But if I talk about aesthetics, because obviously you can color these lines, put furnitures and so all those things, but at the same time, if you can impress, because if you are taking a job of doing the interior design, or maybe the 3D modeling for the exterior designing purpose and to show them, then you have a scope that my drawing is important, obviously, but I don't have to be too much technical with the drawings, or I don't have to think too much regarding the aesthetics, because I'll show him the aesthetic in the 3D part. Okay, but let's suppose you are assigned as an engineer, architect, or whatever, as a freelancer, to submit a 2D plan, and at the same time you desperately want want to impress your client somehow. So in that case, you want that how can I show my 2D drawing in a more beautiful way? How can I like make it better? How can you show it better? So in that case, there is a thing. Obviously, you can do this using SketchUp as well. Basically, you will import this plan into SketchUp and do the 3D modeling and take a screenshot of the top view of the model. That will basically look like a plan itself, and you can show it to him. But that is very tedious job and lengthy job. And if the client is not paying you for 3D modeling, why will you do that? Because rendering also takes time and consumes times, and also it requires a heavy engine, I mean a heavy PC system. So in that case, you have an alternative that I'll not teach, because this is not under this particular internship, but I'll show you how you can do. And that is the thing where I'm going to use the Photoshop. So basically you can see, once you draw something in AutoCAD and save it as PDF, then you can import it as a line diagram into Photoshop. So this is basically imported from a PDF. Okay. So this is the line diagram of the plan, and now I'm going to show you. These are the, where is the wall layer? Okay, now this is the, yeah, this is the original plan. As you can see, this is the original plan. Are you able to see my Photoshop interface? Yeah. So this is the original plan, and then we have the wall elements. Okay. Then we have, you know, what can I say? The floors, different floors. You can edit this and put it as you want. Like you can provide tiles, like as I provided in bathroom and kitchen portion. Then you can provide wooden floors or any kind of floor you want. Then you can show your stairs like this. Then the doors, or you can also show some attractive doors. This is basically rectangles, nothing else. Okay, I haven't like worked that much upon this, but you can make it more beautiful in terms of looks. This, and you can see this is not a like a simple image, because you can see what how many times, even if I zoom it, this is a high quality image actually, and this particular thing doesn't require any kind of rendering. So if you are getting a scope to only represent the 2D drawing, and at the same time you want to impress your client and don't want to waste that much time in rendering as well, so this is the alternative option. And you know, I think architect people or the interior designer people, they are already use these kinds of thing or concept, because they need to learn Photoshop. I personally will suggest all the architecture student and interior design student that go on YouTube and start learning Photoshop, the basics of Photoshop, because it will help you in enormous way. Because the representation or the look matters very much in case of yours. In case of engineering student, you can like impress your client with the technical, you know, drawing stuff, but at the same time your client has to be that much knowledgeable enough to understand your technicalities. Okay, or else you can only impress engineers or maybe some experienced and educated contractors, that's all. But in order to impress the clients, you need to work on aesthetics, and that's where you this particular Photoshop and Illustrator, these things can help you. And then you know, the door. This is the door basically. Then there is the, yeah. This is also the same line in black color, I guess. Yeah. Then we have this, I haven't like put anything in place of these windows because I just try to show it open. You can also put that. Then I have my kitchen objects, and you can see this thing. All of these are like single elements. If I open this, okay, like kitchen objects, everything, the fridge, I can switch it on, switch it off. The vegetables, if I want, I can switch it on, switch it off. The chopping board, everything, every element, each and every element you are seeing. This is not picture, but these are all separate elements. Even this fork, spoons, everything. So you can do it as you like, okay, in your way. Then after this, we have our bedroom objects like the TV, the closet, study table, TV, then indoor, plants and all those things. Then the waiting room. Then we have our drawing room where I have also shown the dining place, a TV set. Okay, then the bathroom objects. And in that case, what will happen, you can even ask your clients, and if you are drawing a simple, you can submit a simple 2D plan, and at the same time, if you are like submitting something kind of this to impress your client, and not only to impress, you can even charge for it, because this kind of plan, they don't generally get a, the client, they are not that much technically educated or that much aware of the dimension 2D things, all those things. So what happens when you submit a particular kind of image to them, I mean the 2D plan to them, they can see the things and understand, okay, this is the positions and all those things. But this is something which will give them a space to visualize, right? That how my floor is going to look. And that is where you win over other architects or other, planners, whatever I say. This is something extra, and you can easily charge for this extra 2,000 to 5,000 bucks for this, depending upon the built up area or whatever things, other things. You can easily charge for this. And this require a very less effort, but a bit of Photoshop knowledge, obviously. Then you can put watermarks like this. I have put it because it was uploaded on social media, that's why. And so these are the things. Then you can also show the text dimensions, the major dimensions if you want to show, because what happens if you are submitting this to a client, he may ask you what are the dimensions of this room, so you can show it like this: bedroom this much, living room, kitchen is this much, this is the dimensions. So that is how you can also submit this, and it impacts a lot. Like it gives them a space to imagine how the plan is going to look and what is the thing that is exactly going to be built. So if you want to learn this particular thing, it is coming under another course. I'll not say a course, it will be a 3 to 4 days session, basically this kind of 2-hour session of 3 days maybe. So 5 to 6 hours you need to understand this and practice this. So we can talk about that later at the end of the internship, if you want to learn this particular thing, like how to represent it within a Photoshop. Okay, so that is completely a separate thing, but you can do it. Why I'm showing this, because I'm not advertising, but I'm telling the people who know Photoshop, you can already start doing it, because the people who are already using Photoshop, they can understand how to do it, because I have already shown you everything, shared with you. So you can get a pretty good idea like how to do it if you are good at Photoshop. So the people who are doing Photoshop already, you can start doing it today itself. Or else if you want to learn from me, it will be with a very minimal fee. There will be a separate session, 2-3 days session. We'll work on it. Okay. So that is where your 2D plan journey ends, I'll say. I'm sharing with you because if you are getting a job of doing the 2D plan only, this is the ultimate end where you can impress your client, or else you can also go with the conventional way and you can show colorful objects. With that also you can impress, but this is something which brings a more life to the drawing or image, and this is very customizable as well. Okay, and don't think that this is random objects. This is very specific as per the requirement of the clients, and also this is as per scale as well, because the people who know Photoshop a little bit, they can do this thing, but the problem is again with the scale, because you cannot show a very much big be- bed within this particular room. You need to understand what should be the exact proportion and all those things. So yeah, that's all for today's session. From tomorrow onwards, we'll move back to 3D modeling. We'll be introduced to SketchUp, and I think many of you are already new to SketchUp. So we'll start from the very basic of SketchUp with the ABCD of SketchUp, and in between that, we'll also have 2-3 sessions from ma'am where she'll be talking about the exterior designing elements and interior designing elements. So it is gonna be, now it is gonna be more interesting, because all these times we have been talking about plans and all those things, because now you'll get to see some colorful objects and do something, so it will be more interesting. And I'm happy that already we have crossed half the time of the internship, because it is already 14th of the month. So I hope that you have learned something at least, and I need your like honest feedbacks. You can share it here also, or at the same time you can share it personally or in the group as well. Like if you are enjoying the particular internship, or like is it value for money, because your feedback is really important, and that's how we can modify us or make this particular internship more interesting and more beneficial for you. Okay, elevation included. Elevation included where, Apur? You're talking about which portion? Sorry, hello.
Front portion, sir. Front elevation.
Yeah, front
Sir,
elevation
front
where?
elevation.
You're talking about the 2D drawing.
No, sir. 3D.
Yeah, obviously, we'll do that. Or else, what is the meaning of this internship? We'll do that. We'll definitely do that. We'll do the complete
Okay.
3D modeling, how the exterior designing will be done, where to place, what kind of facade, chalis, pagodas, vagera, vagera, all those things. Then also we'll tell you some very basics of interior designing. So basically, at the end of the day, what will happen? You will be able to produce the drawings that you generally see in on internet. Okay, the interior pictures, like a very wide angle picture where you'll see the bedroom, colorful walls and all those things. You'll be able to do that by yourself. That is the main purpose of this internship, because obviously knowledge is very important, but at the same time you need to apply your knowledge in some place, or else it will be just words, right? Because you can also read a book about how to ride a bike. You can read a book how to ride a bike or a motorcycle, but you can never learn until unless you actually take the motorcycle and ride it. So you need to do it by your hand, and that is why I'm like repeating every day that please do these things alongside this internship. Practice it and do it, or else there will be no value of this internship, and it is completely on you. So if you have any kind of more questions or something, you can ask. If anyone is having.
Please share SketchUp software.
Yeah, definitely. I'll share that within the group today itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to ask something. Can you please share any plan with the sectional and elevational diagram so that we can take a reference from there and can do.
Okay, within the group you want to share me. You want me to share within the group, right?
Within group or personally, as you wish.
Okay. I'll share within the group. I'll
Uh,
share within the group, no problem.
so having the total detail means what else we need to mention, what the things, everything.
This is particular. Basically, this particular internship is completely oriented to architectural point of view. Even there was a discussion and kind of, you know, what can I say, conflict while we were naming this particular internship with my other team members, that we have named this particular internship, they are an architectural internship. But if you see what are the things included in this internship, that is not only architecture. I'll say there is, you can say 40% of it is architecture. This complete, if you look at the complete internship, there is 40% of this internship is related to architecture. Then maybe there is 10 to 15% related to interior designing, which will be introduced later. Then 20 to 30% is already related to client dealings and all those things, and practical point of view and all those things. And also 10 to 15% is related to the drawing technical know-hows and all those things. So yeah, there was some kind of thing, but the aim of this particular internship is that so that you will be able to take up some project, and you'll be able to draft a conceptual plan. Then you can draw a conceptual plan, then draft it within a CAD software. Then you'll be able to do the 3D modeling. Then you can do the detailing, the exterior detailing and the interior detailing, and then you'll be able to render it. So this is the basic process of how a particular dwelling or a residential project or this small scale commercial projects goes on. So this is the general process, so that a student who is attending this internship, he or she is able to do these works. So talking about the sectional and elevational drawings, those are not that much important, but obviously if you are willing to work on this, I'll definitely share it, because I always encourage people to do and learn more and more things. This is not like I'll not share something with you, but obviously if you ask to share this Photoshop file, I'll not share, because it took me a lot of effort to make this. So I rather prefer to that if somebody is interested, you can contact me and we can do another session. 2 or 3 sessions will be enough for it, I guess, and the charge will also be minimal, and we can teach you this how to do this particular thing in Photoshop. And yeah, I'll share the drawings, don't worry, and I'll share the software as well. And any more questions? So we can end today's session, but yes, also remember the task for you is that after you do all your dinner and all those stuffs, before tomorrow's class, at least print your drawing. Whatever plan you have drafted, try to print it. Then you know what happens when you get something in physical form, you'll get confidence. You'll be very much confident that yes, you have done something and printed it on a paper and it is looking very perfect. The scale are very perfect. And then you can easily look at the aesthetics, like changing the colors, line widths and all those things. Those are minor things. But once you master this thing, this scale and representation and text height, these things, you'll be very much confident. And you can see the difference. Then you can easily notice the difference after completion of this internship and the person who you were before this internship. And obviously, I will also share some feedback forms and kind of things. So you can, where there will be no mentioning of names, so you can comment anonymously. So if you have something, you can easily say, okay, no need to mention your name and nothing. You can easily say how you feel about this internship, whether it is value for money, whether it is contributing something to your knowledge. So you can easily do that. and we need to know your comments. Yeah, Himanish, I have seen your plan, and that was good. I have seen that you have added an extra bedroom, and I've seen that. Yeah, the plan is like perfect now.
Yes.
Okay, so I think let's end today's session here. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Yeah.